A little girl's life was changed forever by a deaf boxer. Grown-up things can be quite overwhelming for a child. Adults tend to have a difficult time taking the stand to testify against someone who hurt them. So imagine how scary it would be for a child. This little girl had to take the stand to testify against a man who had wronged her. And as soon as she saw him, she couldn't move. Everything inside of her told her not to do it. That was until she signaled something to her dog. Adult matters are known to be incredibly frightening for children. This is especially the case when it comes to testifying in court. However, many children need to testify in court. One little girl had to take the stand when someone wronged her. The little girl froze as soon as she saw the man that had wronged her. Nobody could blame her for being afraid, but her testimony was crucial and everyone knew it. That's when Carl, the court dog, came in to save the day. Carl wasn't just your average therapy dog. He was a 5-year-old white boxer who weighs 65 pounds. He's part of the Companions for Courage and is a K-9th Circuit dog who is allowed to appear in court to provide support for children who are testifying. The K-9th Circuit program dogs are special and provide a sense of protection to the children who are testifying in a courtroom. The U.S. courts are now recognizing the need for trauma-sensitive measures, which is why therapy dogs are being used. Although all therapy dogs are special, Carl works in a unique way because he's deaf. His deafness is his greatest asset. Due to this, he doesn't react to any noises in the courtroom and can focus purely on those he's comforting. Due to Carl's calm demeanor, he's very popular with the kids he works with. His size is also known to make those kids feel safe and protected. He also came dressed to the courtroom in some very silly outfits to put the children at ease. Training Carl was seen as somewhat of a challenge because of his deafness. Carl's trainer, Joanne, already trained 3 boxers before adopting Carl, but she'd never taught a deaf dog before. She needed a different type of training because he couldn't hear the commands. Joanne was able to come up with a creative way that allowed Carl to follow commands. Carl was able to learn American Sign Language, and his orders were signed to him using this. He soon excelled in his work after being able to understand this. Although Carl is a special needs dog, he's overcome his fair share of difficulties and can now enjoy life as a therapy dog. He loves bringing joy to seniors, children, and anyone he comes into contact with. In addition to this, his disability is what makes him a great courtroom therapy dog. Some things should never happen to a little girl. The girl knew that the man who had wronged her was going to be in the courtroom, and she was very fearful of seeing him. That's why Carl was there to help her feel safer. There was one major problem that Carl faced when working. This was that most of the kids didn't know sign language and were unable to communicate with him. Joanne understood this and came up with an idea to resolve the communication problem. Carl became incredibly popular in the courtroom as a therapy dog after Joanne taught him one special hand signal. The children felt as though they had a secret code with Carl when they signaled him to do this. He was able to save the day because of this on multiple occasions. Using therapy dogs in courtrooms is very encouraged. This is especially the case for younger victims that are needed to testify. One girl was in serious need of a therapy dog when she turned to Joanne before entering the courtroom and asked something baffling. The little girl's case was a difficult one, and she was asking if Carl was going to protect her. She was very afraid of the world after encountering the man who wronged her. That's why having Carl there was an important asset. Carl sat with the little girl throughout all the prep sessions and depositions. This gave the girl courage to speak up, even though she was incredibly scared. Upon entering the courtroom, the girl froze, and she became too afraid to face the man. The little girl quickly signed Carl, and he came over and sat by her, which brought some much-needed comfort and security. Carl was there to bring her comfort, and she was able to run her feet down his fur. This gave her the strength she needed. The little girl began testifying with Carl, who never left her side. Because of this, she was able to get through the entire trial without any problems. All of her prepping had paid off. However, no one was expecting what would happen after the trial. Carl's story of what he did during the trial spread like wildfire, and it reached millions of people all across the globe. Everyone seemed to adore what he had done for the little girl. This helped to spread awareness for the program that he was a part of. Once the trial had finished up, Carl continued to provide support for children that needed to testify. However, he doesn't just disappear from the children's lives as soon as the trial's over. He continues to offer support even when they're outside the courtroom. Carl continues to travel throughout his life without knowing that he's a hero to all the children he comes across. He remains a therapy dog in courtrooms and is constantly making sure he's doing his job in the best way possible. His disability hasn't stopped him from doing that. Carl doesn't treat these children as his patients that he needs to help. He treats the kids in the courtroom as friends. The little girl wasn't just getting security from Carl. The therapy dog was also getting love and affection from her, which is what every dog wants. All therapy dogs want is love and attention, which can be said for all pets. However, they're special because they're able to offer security and companionship to those who need it most. Here's Boomer helping out a friend at the dependency court. Therapy dogs don't just work with people who need to testify in court, they also work with judges. Judges work long and hard hours. Sometimes it's nice to get a little cuddle from some friendly therapy dogs. Here's Judge Lattimore with some happy therapy dogs. Therapy dogs aren't just working animals, they're also friends that most children need when going through a stressful time, like testifying in court. Here you can see one of the canine's therapy dogs, DuPont, being a friendly doggo at the dependency court. Therapy dogs work around the clock to provide support to those in need. Some work the afternoon shift while others work the morning one. However, they never miss out on the opportunity to bring some love and light to someone's day. All the therapy dogs in the community make a huge difference to those around them without knowing it. Here are Essie and DuPont, who are relaxing after a long day of spreading love and making a difference in their community. One of the best parts of the job is that the Companion for Courage team gets lots of love while on the job. All the children and seniors these therapy dogs work with aren't shy when it comes to showering them with affection. There can never be just one therapy dog of the month because they're all great at their jobs. Not that it matters anyway. They don't care about anything like that. All these therapy dogs care about is making sure that those around them feel safe. Courtrooms are a real waiting game, so being patient is a must. Here we have Carl, who knows this all too well. He's even taught himself how to sit on the bench and patiently wait for his friends to arrive. The program's been able to flourish over the years and now has many therapy dogs, which allows them to help even more people than before. Because of Carl's work in the courtroom, more programs have been started, which help children all across the nation. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to share this story with your friends.